downsizing is bad for PR.
So
Right? PR, when you say, this company have downsized, it look like they have failed. Really? So when you actually like, then the execution network doesn't exist with your company. You have not downsized. We have given you a framework, a playbook that you can basically like replicate across and just focus on marketing and building and all of those type of things instead of.
what would you say has been the hardest part of building Web3 Central?
The hardest part of building, I think it has been building our distribution network, building distribution and also funding, right? Also funds, right? I think I actually like set out a certain amount of funds to do the initial, and I ran out of runway in about 6 to 8 months of building a distribution channel.
Hi everyone, welcome to another episode of the Builder series. And with me here, I have
Imoh Silas.
Nice to meet you, man.
Yeah.
Nice to have you on here today.
All right.
So, just briefly tell us about what you're building.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Hi everyone. Like I said earlier, I'm Imoh Silas. I'm currently building Web3 Central. All right. In the Web3 space, Web3 Central is basically a collective of quality people, right, gathered around shared standards, shared execution quality. And foundationally, it is just what led us to like set up Web3 Central was I got into the Web3 space, right, as a builder. Foundationally, I'm a product manager and a product designer. So when I got into the space, I noticed.
But typically, how did you get into Web3?
Yeah, okay. How did I get into Web3?
Yeah.
So it was while I was building a design community at the time, right? I was primarily a designer. I had like a space where I had like designers come together, do stuff, build, and also learn. Right. So I got introduced to like a Web3 founder that builds a company. That built a company back at home. He does like a do-to-end platform, right? So we got talking, and I realized from that conversation, what I learned was that this is actually like the future, right? I mean, the decentralized space, which is crypto, is an industry of about $2.6 trillion. Right, and it is actually like built up. They have like lots of infrastructure built around it, right, in the blockchain space. So I mean, and it is the internet of the future. So I realized that okay, I think it's actually the future of the internet. So it's best that because there were not a lot of people building in that space, I thought that entering into the space early would have been a very good decision to make.
To get into.
Yeah, to get into. So that is actually like what led me to go into Web3. Right. So when I got into the space, I noticed that they were like really quality guys. They were really quality guys. They were cool people doing like real good stuff, but they were quite fragmented. They were like distributed in different places. They're going to find one out of like 10 somewhere, and they were not like they did not get to like work together, right? And you had a lot of people doing like really mediocre things, right? Really mediocre work. And you could mistaken the space for a space that is saturated with people doing low quality work. Meanwhile, if you look a little deep, you're going to see like people that are doing like really amazing things. So what we aimed to achieve was bring together like those exceptional people to get them to work with exceptional companies that are solving real world problems, right? In the decentralized space. Not like it is only limited to the decentralized space. We also like do stuff for the Web2, right? The centralized space.
Yeah.
But we are mostly focused on bringing like really exceptional people, building on standards and execution quality in the decentralized space. So yeah, that's what we.
So I mean, when people hear Web3, you think about crypto.
Yeah.
You think about projects. You think about stuff like that. So, I mean, it is low key a little bit confusing for like the layman, right? For like the normal person who just has knowledge about cash, banks, stuff like that. So, what made you decide to build in this particular space where it's like most people just like to sit on the sidelines and just watch it than actually involving themselves in it? So, what made you decide to want to
Okay.
Aside the fact that it was interesting, because trust me, I know Web3 can be interesting.
There have been a lot of upsides in the space. People have made like mad money inside.
That's true.
I'm not like part of
That's
them,
true.
right? I got in like a bit late, and actually like where the space is currently at, space is currently in the crypto side, the space is currently in the bearish phase the of the business, right? But there are lots of real world utility, right? And the real world utility actually like encourages, it has like a lot of things that encourages people. One, the incentives, right? People can basically like get into the space and perform specific tasks that you can perform in the real life and then earn from it, right? You cannot replicate that in the Web2 space, all right? I mean, you can try, but it's not, the incentives are not going to be great, right? And I also what led me to build is purely the thoughts that okay, the future is decentralized, right?
True.
Everybody wants ownership of their stuff, ownership of their system, ownership of their IPs, ownership of their wallet, ownership, trust and stuff, right? And and yeah, if we are like, I mean, primarily what I say, if we are early to a space where the future is headed to, like we are pushing towards our Web3 Central, that the future of work is decentralized, right? People want to work at their own time, right? Work with the companies that they want, right? And do quality work at the same time, right? So they don't have like this person actually bossing them around, and it's not sustainable, really. It's not necessarily sustainable. If you create your playbook, you should own it. You should replicate it around and stuff. So those are like the interesting things that actually got me like excited about the space, including the incentives as well. The incentives are like really.
I mean, for me, I like to lean towards like the crypto and the token part of
Okay.
Web3.
Okay.
And
Okay.
when you take a look at companies or countries like Portugal,
Okay.
Mexico, it's crazy how or what they've done with crypto.
With crypto, yeah, the
Like
adoption. Yeah.
that part of the world is almost fully tokenized. You can literally walk into a store and pay with your USDC or pay with your crypto. So that really got me like really interested. I think there is this particular event that happens in Singapore. I don't know if you've heard of it, Token 49.
Token 49, yeah, I think I've
That's
heard
what it's
about
called.
it
And
before.
DevCon, those kind of events
Yeah.
where most people in Nigeria, like the builders that we have right here in Nigeria, they traveled over there to showcase their products and network with like minds. And then they were showing how they were, using apps that we have built in the Web3 space to be able to pay for things over there. I think, have you heard of some companies like Aza,
Yeah, in
Onboard,
Nigeria, yeah.
those kind of companies? So they've been able to facilitate that happening. And I like to
Cross-border
look at
payment.
Web3 at that space, even if I know
It's all encompassing, yeah.
exactly,
It's all
and it's really
encompassing.
huge.
Solana ecosystem has actually like done a very good work with applying it to real world application like healthcare, buying
It makes it easy for people
coffees
to
and stuff like that.
understand
Yeah.
what Web3 is, even if essentially it's okay. Now you mentioned you have a career in product management, so like walk me back a little bit in terms of how's that like, being a product manager, especially living in Lagos.
Okay.
How do you navigate getting into like finding jobs and also like the pay, stuff like that? Because I know that there are a lot of product managers that are in my space and they would love to, have more knowledge about that.
Okay. So product
I know I'm taking you back memory lane now,
it's
but
totally understandable.
yeah.
So product management, first of all, it's not necessarily I mean, it favors people that are not entering it as an entry role, right? Like I've had conversations with you and you said you're a front end dev, right? And you're a product manager as well, right? So having like an already existing product knowledge basically gives you an edge in product management and yeah. So what basically stands you out in product management is your knowledge about like a lot of things around product development, how development frameworks work, right? Which framework could possibly be used to build this particular type of thing? If you're trying to build a blockchain product, what framework could you use, right? How to put together a product team and how to manage a product team. And not necessarily like knowing Scrum and all of those things. If you can like carefully design a pathway, right? If you can carefully design a system as to which a product is going to be designed from start to finish, I mean, you're going to get a leverage over like most other a lot of other product managers. There's a thought that I had like yesterday around just I think that everybody should build something. All right, everybody should build something, and that is actually like one of the that would be like a superpower for like product managers, because if you get to like build something, there are a lot of things that you're going to experiment with. Recently, I started experimenting with automation and using like the data that you get from say your tally, right, from your users, get data from your users, move it to Airtable, move it to like either Init or Make. I use Make for my automations and stuff like that. Run it through workflow. Those are like the things that I learned from building. But I think, but it's also an addition if you actually like take it to go work for a company as a product manager or as a builder, right? You can I mean, one of the things that is very important is to use your unfair advantage as much as you can.
What do you mean?
Like, one of the things that stands you out, you should always use it. Take, for instance, real world application. If your dad have money, flex it.
Real.
Right?
Yes.
Don't be like, I'm trying to be virtuous for actually like, no.
I'm trying to be humble.
I'm trying to be humble. There's no, I mean,
Yeah.
there's no utility in actually trying to be overtly humble. You could be humble, right? But use it to your advantage. If you want to use it to actually like go to networking, use it, start a conversation, and then build on real value. Not necessarily like flexing with actually like putting value into like whatever place that you find yourself. Yeah. So yeah, I think those are like the things that stands product managers out. All right. Build publicly, put it in people's faces, and they are going to, while you're building your thing. I saw a video yesterday. While this guy was building his own thing, over time, employers started, but he was like job hunting a lot. He was job hunting a lot, and he did not have like a lot of people come reach out to him. But the moment that he started building his stuff publicly and putting it out there, they were like certain skill sets that employers saw, and they were like, okay, I like this in this person. I like this person in my space. So from there, you can actually like lean back into your core area of competence, and then add your magic to what.
So you would advise people to build in public?
Yes, build in public.
Even if it's just like an idea.
Yeah, even if it is just whatever you have, build in public. Let people see it. Fail in public too. All right. Just a stack of failure over time can just turn to one win that could change.
You never know who's watching.
Yes. Never know.
So I also want to know when it comes to getting jobs in product management too.
Okay.
Do you think how do I put it now? Let me say, for example, you see the workload that you have to do in a particular job or a particular feature that you want to ship. How would you say the companies, like, do they treat you well when it comes to like pay as well?
I don't. Can you ask the question again? Sorry.
Let's say, for example, I'm trying to get into the product managers now that are watching this podcast, because you said something. When it comes to product management, they love to go for experienced people, people that are like well seasoned in this space. So when it comes to entry-level product managers, and when it also comes to like you as well as like experienced, do you think the pay is justified?
The pay is just what?
Yeah, it's justified for the amount of work that you put in.
Well, I mean, you could as well do it for free. But yeah, I mean, you should actually be properly paid for whatever service that you put out there. I think bottom line foundationally is if you're good at what you do, right, and you're able to sell it properly, you're going to be paid for the value that you are worth, right? For the justification of the pay, I don't think that any compensation that you're given sustained to sell over time, right? Actually, over time, you're like, I think I'm bored of earning this particular amount of money, and I want to. So even if they start paying you $2,000, you might just get unsatisfied at a certain point in your career, right? So then now the focus is on what to focus on at that point.
What's next?
Right. The focus is just focus on adding more value and more experience, and also for entry role people that get trying to get into entry role. One of the challenge I had initially was you have a conversation with people and they are going to say that they are looking for fintech product manager. They're looking for which other space? Web3 product manager. They're looking for specialist product managers, and it's sort of healthcare, right? It's a wild space to looking for a job. So if you want to optimize for that, or there's a space that you're looking at, maybe you should just go and totally slash whatever you would possibly want to earn just to get the experience in that space, and then use it to leverage for what ever role that you're optimizing for. Because I mean, a lot of people will not give you opportunity if you don't even have one already, right? Or if you don't have experience in what they're trying to offer. So entry level or new guys, just work for less, right? For less pay, get the experience, get the tag, and then you can optimize for the pay that you are looking towards.
That's for my product managers out there. I mean, back to Web3 Central. Web3 Central.
Okay, yeah.
And what you're building essentially. What problem would you say made you want to do that?
Made me want to build Web3 Central. Okay, so like I initially said, when I got into this space, I did not find fellow I did not find fellow designers and product managers that were working at my page, and also at the level that I was working at. They were there, they were here and there, but they never really, and also project as well. So while working with different projects, one of the things that you get is fragmented work culture. This person is work, this person is on this level of design. So today this one going to ship this standard of design. Not going to ship Canvas standard of design. This one is going to ship this type of codes. This one going to ship. So they were really fragmented. People were not structured based on layers of execution. Right, so we were not structured based on standard. Okay, this is this set of builder standard, and this is what we are expecting from this set of builders. Right, this is this designers, whatever builder they are. So because of that, the standard of work was really up and down. They're going to create a Zilli campaign, and people are going to put out really trashy stuff, right? And you could not control quality. So what we basically aim to achieve when we started was structure people based on standards, right? We have really exceptional people, really quality people, bring people like you, Dan, bring developers, bring engineers, bring designers, and then first of all, you have to be so good at your work, right? So we get to work with you, bring all of you, match based on standards, right? Okay, this is what we are trying to achieve for this company. So we group all of those talented people in what we call ports, right? Okay, based on these ports, you guys are going to be deployed to work for this project. And for companies, basically, I think one of the challenges that companies have is once they raise, they operate for a while and they actually exhaust their runway, right? Or maybe something happens to their cost of operation, which is their runway. And when they have that, the most predictable thing is that they get to downsize, right? They get to downsize and bring down the team.
We've been seeing that with a lot of companies these days.
Yes. Especially with the advent of AI. AI basically does the work of 3 people, right? It could even be a CTO. Clock code. So basically it brings let me get my thoughts together. So when we are grouped together, because of those businesses actually run out of runway, and then they think of downsizing. If you're working with an execution network like ours, right? Once we are done with that project, you can dissolve that execution network, and you don't worry about downsizing is bad for PR.
True.
Right? PR, when you say, this company have downsized, it look like they have failed. Really? So when you actually like, then the execution network doesn't exist with your company, you have not downsized. We have given you a framework, a playbook that you can basically like replicate across and just focus on marketing and building and all of those type of things instead of.
What would you say has been the hardest part of building Web3 Central?
The hardest part of building, I think it has been building our distribution network, building distribution, and also funding, right? Also funds, right? I think I actually like set out a certain amount of funds to do the initial, and I ran out of runway in about 6 to 8 months of building a distribution channel, because how I actually like believe in building is you don't necessarily like go to market with the product first without actually like building a distribution channel and a community that gets to receive it and take it to, and you can test with. So so that has been like one of the toughest parts. We get to like build experiments, tell our stories, reframe our stories, see how we can rework it to perfectly fit our target audience, and also see how we can solve the problems that we're trying to solve. So it took a lot of time. It took a lot of iterations. It took a very good amount of iterations before we actually got that, and that equally like affected the runway that we had. So biggest challenge is creating a distribution pathway and also funding.
Okay, so can I ask, like, what is the distribution pathway to letting people know about Web3 Central?
Distribution pathway, like it's mostly in the social distribution, like the channels that you're going to, where people come into, where people going to meet your products, right? What are the pathways? Are people going to first encounter your product on your websites, right? When they move from your website, what is the next point of contact, right? Once you come to, take for instance, they meet you on Twitter, what are they going to meet? Are they going to meet like a certain set of communication that actually like orients them as to like what you're building, orient them about what you're building? And when they move from Twitter, where do they land next? Do they land in your Telegram community, your Slack community? What is the engagement pathway within that community and stuff like those are like all your distributions. So there has to be like an already existing framework of communication within all of these channels. So it's something that is actually like should be thought through, so that when your users start coming on board, you're not necessarily experimenting. You've already like created that pathway through. Right. So yeah, that has been like one of our biggest challenge. Then funding as well. Really working with really great talents requires good money, right? And for a startup, we didn't necessarily go all out to pay what they are worth. We basically sold the vision for them, but that still required that we actually like pay them for that, because I personally don't believe that anybody should work for me for free. I believe that anybody that works for me, even after being sold the idea and the vision, should be compensated for like the work that they do. So
and the thing is, bootstrapping can only get you so far.
Yeah, it can actually like get you so far. Moving from there, you have to like get funds, get funding to to run, get funding, or maybe get clients. So yeah, these are the phase that we are currently in. Yeah.
And do you think Web3 is hard to understand?
It is actually hard to understand. I think a couple of people that, even myself, it took me about
took you a while,
a year plus, right? I kept asking questions. Yeah. So it's just like when you got into Web2, there are different areas. You think you know Web2 because you use your mobile phone, and then you realize that there is this thing that you need to know. There's product, there's service, there's this, there are different rails and different pathways that you need to like understand and ask questions about and stuff, and get to understand, because the things that you don't know really, you can't navigate those
On that note, so what do you think people misunderstand when it comes to Web3 that you think is not true?
I think one of the I think it's Kami that actually like comes to yeah. So
Yeah.
they have because I think the reason why this is the case is because the initial players in the space, starting with the initial players in the space is finance, all right? That's crypto.
Crypto.
Yeah. So people like got into the space and actually like did a very bad job with earning trust. A lot of people, they blew a lot of people's money and all of that, and all of that was tied back to crypto and blockchain and Web3, right? So now the people that are coming to build real stuff have a very big work of trust,
of trust to
do. They have to like allow people to like they have to build trust over time, get people to use it, experience it, and see how it solves their problems and stuff like that. So yeah, I think the problem of trust is like one of the biggest challenge for business.
Well, you were never scammed with crypto, were you?
I've lost a lot of money. I've lost a lot of money.
I think everybody has. I think everybody has.
I've lost a lot of money in the space, and I personally did not necessarily like feel bad because I knew that it's very, if I wanted to go and trade in the decentralized the crypto market, is quite volatile, right? There's a high chance that I was going to lose, and just a high chance. And I also did not necessarily like go in with like a very clear strategy. I was working with like a lot of let me say assumption, but I just had like an understanding of what I was doing. It's just that there was not like clear strategy as to how to navigate the crypto space right here.
What has been your lowest point building this? What would you say has been your lowest point that you've ever had to face building Web3 Central?
I think my lowest point has always been around people, right? When you get to work with certain people and they don't work with you anymore, right? For different reasons, right? I think sometimes it could be me, right? It could be personal reasons, like they need to like go chase after some other things. But sometimes when I internalize it, I take it personal. Like, is it something that I did wrong, right? Is it something that is it an operational problem? Recently, it was like, is it that this person does not clearly understand what we are building? So that comes down to I've probably not like done a very great job with communicating properly what we are building, right? And I mean, sometimes I wake up in the morning and I'm like, what are we actually doing?
So you felt like, oh my god, like what is this?
Yeah, oh my god, what is this? Right? And you don't have because clarity comes like by the day.
Yeah.
You wake up and you don't have like clarity as to what building block to put on top of the other for the next day. So you just have to, and you also know that a lot of people actually like believe in what you do, believe in what you do, and also they are depending on the success of that. So also act to that. So you wake up knowing that you have that responsibility to deliver. And sometimes you don't feel like it's really like one of the biggest disservice you can do to a creative person is expect that they wake up every day optimally, like with their best.
Yeah.
Like when you wake up, you're waking up 100, right? You don't. Everybody don't. Most people, real life is we don't wake up 100. We wake up 0, and then recharge and recharge and recharge. Then we get to the optimal stage and stuff like that. So it's just those down moments when you don't have clarity as to what's the next step to take, right? And but I think every step keeps leading us to where we.
And you felt a point where like, is this all going to work out? You ever felt something like that?
Every day. I feel that way every day. Is this all going to work? I feel that way every day, really. I mean, there's the part of imposter syndrome.
Yeah.
Right. There's the part of people are not motivated enough to do the work. Even myself, I'm not motivated.
You can't be motivated
all the time to get to work and stuff like that. I feel that way every day. I mean, the thing that keep me going most of the time is just one, the resources that I have put into it.
Exactly. Exactly.
Right.
Like looking back at what you've invested.
What you've
it's
invested, yeah. Right. I'm at the stage where I'm about to like get an external fund.
Okay.
Although I'm like holding back because I want to like stabilize my own finance before I get to like collect an external, because I want everything to stick to business plan and not like to the NEPA took light, NEPA call light. So I'm using from the external funds to like sort that out. I want to stick to business plan. So yeah. So a lot of people have sacrificed for us to get to where we are. So I mean, I think I have the responsibility to like follow through.
And in terms of recruiting these people, how does it work?
In terms of recruiting, you guys, we basically like recruit based like a standard company does, right? You apply, you share your CV, and then we get on a call to like, if we go share, go through your CV and your previous work. We work with people based on work, proof of work. Proof of work. Yeah, proof of work, not necessarily like CV and stuff. So we go through your proof of work. If it meets the standard that we are trying to execute on,
that makes sense.
Then we get on a conversation and stuff and move forward. Yeah.
And where do you see Web3 Central? Like, if everything works out for you, where do you see Web3 Central at?
Well, where I see Web3 Central, I see a lot of business actually like replicating the model that we are currently working with, the model that we are currently building, right? And I also like see that we get to like work with companies that are doing great work, right? Say companies like MetaMask, etc. Right? You get to like build real world value and see how the outcome of our work. And we also have a future plan, right? Which we are structuring within our ownership structure. We are setting out like 45% of ownership of the company to a community, right? So that is like we are converting that into a tokenized system. So contributors within the community get to like own that's not replicated. Yeah, but a particular token, right?
Okay.
Which is totally like different from what the founding team like
it's different from equity.
Yeah, different from equity and stuff. It's totally tokenized. So the community,
there's value in that token.
Yes.
Okay.
We are going
I like the approach. I like the approach.
Yeah, we are going to work towards building real value in that token, so that by owning the token, you own a part of it.
You own a part of it. Exactly.
All right. Yeah.
I like the approach. I mean, seeing the fact that not a lot of people know about Web3, and they want to have like a community to be able to come, get education, learn from people that are already in the space. I really feel like this is something that there is a huge value for this for people that wanted to get into Web3. Yeah. So I feel you're building an amazing product.
Thank you.
And essentially, what would you advise somebody that wants to start his journey in Web3, blockchain, smart contracts, all of that?
Well, I think what I would advise, just be curious.
I thought you'd say join Web3 Central.
No, I thought that was really. I think Web3 Central is not like your entry point.
Yeah,
we are not like your entry point.
Not like the entry point.
We are not necessarily positioned as the entry point. Just
that makes a lot of sense.
Yeah, be curious. You get to like work with us over time, right? Web 2, Web 3, whichever space that you are, you can work with us if you are a skilled person and you are you're good at what you do. But the entry point for like new timers into.
But is that on the table? Is that on the cards? Like to be able to have like a system to be able to teach people to get into Web3, and then they can become a part of Web3 Central?
Well, it is not necessarily there. It's not necessarily there yet, right? But on our channels, we make Web3 as simplified as possible, so that anybody that reads about it can understand what is going on. Because I think that one of the challenging the decentralized this is buzzwords and complexities. People are very big on using like complicated like language like the app and all of those things. I know every industry start out with their own vocabs and their own lingua, but yeah, Web3 actually like the barrier to entry is communication, language, how people understand what you're saying. So we try to like simplify that a lot so that people that read about it and hear about it understand and they know what they are getting into, or they know if they want to get into it.
And a lot of this information, where can we find them? Like how can we find Web3 Central?
Okay, you could visit our site at Web3, that is WEBTHREE Central.xyz, right? Or you could visit our channel on Twitter as Web3 Central, right? And it's going to be tagged in this video, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, sure. So
I just want you to like tell our viewers where they can find you, like your external platforms, maybe X, maybe Instagram.
But mostly on X. X directs you to our Telegram community where we like talk about Web3 generally. And if you want to join, if you want to start a business, you can go on our website and start a project. And if you want to join as a talent, as an executor, you can go there, submit your proof of work and CV, and then we reach out to you and see how we can partner.
And typically, how long does this process take?
How long does onboarding process take? It could take a short while. It totally depends on the project that we have at the time. I mean, if we have a project that we think your skill set is does match, it could just be the next day that we get to reach out to you. Right? It totally depends on the project that we are currently working on. So yeah.
Amazing. You're building an amazing product, man.
Thank you.
And I'm really happy to be able to capture this moment with you.
Right. Beginnings.
So, thank you for coming to the show.
Yeah, thank you.
I really appreciate your time.
Yeah, I appreciate your podcast and stuff.
Thank you very much.
It's great work you're doing too.
So I hope you guys really enjoyed this episode because we dive deeper into Web3, what it takes to be able to run a product like the one Silas does. And if you have an experience in Web3 and you'd really love to be a part of the community, reach out to Web3 Central and they'll definitely get you sorted.